guys? It's been a while. I know. Life's so crazy. Life is so crazy. But hey, I'm back. What's up, guys? Tinksy here, or also known as Cameron, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time, but listen, stuff happens. But not to fear, I'm back. And this time, we're revisiting the old Marvel Marvel rankings. Now, it's been a while because I remember doing a Marvel ranking a long time ago. And things change, more things come out, and the more I stew over some stuff, the more I start to like some stuff, and the more I start to hate some stuff. So, this is going to be interesting. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, all that stuff. But yeah, I was gonna do a video of The Last of Us. I was gonna do a review episode 1 and 2, but my old mic, it went kaput. It just decided, oh, I'm not gonna work. You know, first video in forever. We're gonna make your life extra hard. And so I had to get a new one, and now it came in. I just put it on, and so now, yay! Here we go. Redoing the entire Marvel ranking playlist, and it's including the Netflix shows too, which is good because more of the Netflix superheroes are starting to get implemented into the movies and stuff like that. So that's pretty good. But anyway, I have put some shows I haven't seen already on the bottom. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Defenders, and Iron Fist. Never watched a single second of. I Am Groot and Miss Marvel. I've watched one episode, and that's not really enough to judge how good they are. So I just left them in the haven't seen ranking right there. The first movie, we're not going to do it in order. We're not going to go phase 1, phase 2, whatever. We're just going to go whatever is first here. And the first one is Black Panther. Now, a lot of people say, oh, this movie's overrated. Let me tell you why it's not as overrated as people think it is. The world building, it being able to build up Wakanda as this sort of secret haven and like this place that is just all holy to the rest of the world. I think they did a fantastic job. Ryan Coogler did a really good job with directing and making that come to life. Rest in peace to Chadwick. He did a great job as the Black Panther. The surrounding cast was great too. I don't know how to say his name. Daniel Kaluuya. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's always done such a good job with everything that he's done. Every role he's done, especially in the past couple years or so. He's put out some legit bangers. He was good in this for how much he showed up, which was barely any. Winston Duke, I've come to love that man with all my heart. I think he's a fantastic actor and a fantastic person. And I just think, all in all, I think the choreography was great. The CGI was really wonky. It was like PS2 bad, and that's kind of a mixed bag with Marvel, especially with the CGI. But for now, I'm gonna put Black Panther A tier. Now, as this goes along, from left to right, I'm gonna rank. So basically, for instance, if Black Panther remains on the left side of A tier, and I have, for instance, WandaVision all the way on the right, that means Black Panther was the highest of the A tier, and WandaVision was the lowest of the A tier. Hopefully that clears some things up. Moving on to the Avengers. Now, the Avengers, it is the cream of the crop. The cream of the crop. A tier, absolutely. This was the beginning of everything. Almost 10 years, I think it was 10 years ago. Or 13 years ago now. Or what? How did I go from 10 years to 13 years? Or 11 years ago. That's the number I was looking for. 11 years ago that this movie came out. Blew everyone's minds. I think it's still a very solid A tier entry into the MCU. Can't really go much further into that. Thor. Yeah, sorry. The early Thor movies, they were okay, but they never wowed me. I think the Thor movies, great casts every time. but I never got into them. The whole Natalie Portman, Chris Hemsworth, or Jane Thor storyline never meshed with me. I felt like it was really pushed down our throats. They didn't really have a lot of chemistry, and it just never, it never settled in my mind. And I never go back to this movie and say, oh, this is one of the classic MCU movies. Now, Phase 1 had a lot of things that missed. And that's the problem with the Phase now. Phase 4 going into the Phase 5, there was a lot of misses in Phase 4. And some people were like, MCU fell off. Well, you forgot to understand that Phase 1 had the same problem. There were some really good movies in Phase 1s and 2. But then again, you're basically rebuilding everything, okay? Phase 4 is hitting the phase 1 thing. It's building stuff. And when we get to Phase 5 and 6, that's when shit's gonna really kick up to another gear. So you gotta give Marvel some time. But anyway, Thor, not that much of a great movie. Now, Thor Dark World. No, I'm not even talking about that movie. Moving on. Iron Man 2, like that, less words said, the better. Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2, all the Iron Man movies, I really have a hard time putting onto I have a hard time putting them on a tier because they're all basically the same movie because they're all carried by RDJ. RDJ is Tony Stark. He carries those movies, like, bar none. So that's why almost all three of them hold a special place to me, because Robert Downey Jr. is so good in all three of them. The villains, on the other hand, don't get me started with the villains. All the villains are weak as shit. Okay, every single one of them. Although I did like Obadiah Stane. I think he was pretty cool. Oh, sorry. I think Obadiah Stane was pretty cool. But all that being said, Whiplash, not really a good villain. Rockwell, not really a good villain. I'm going to go C. Sorry, but I liked it better than Thor, so we're going to put it in front of 4. Yeah, I said it. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, a lot of people have mixed feelings about this. A lot of people are saying, oh, it wasn't as good as the first Guardians of the Galaxy, which I wholeheartedly agree, but that doesn't mean that it deserves to be dumped on. Okay? It doesn't deserve to be dumped on. Not at all. It goes B tier. I liked the ego storyline. I liked how closer together everyone was, especially considering the events of the first one, how they were basically wanting to kill each other. I felt like that was a nice switch from everything. Now, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is overhated. But does that mean it's not a boring movie? No. It's still a very boring movie. But the fact that it's considered one of the least favorite Marvel movies, or one of the worst Marvel movies, I don't necessarily agree. I don't think there's necessarily a terrible Marvel movie. Thor Dark World. But that, I think that's kind of unfair. There were some good moments in Captain Marvel that I liked, but there was a lot more bad moments than good moments. Winter Soldier, definitely. I'm gonna put that in A tier for now because I think it got bumped out of the top 5 with some inclusion, like some movies that have come out recently. I'm gonna put it in A tier for now. I know a lot of people think this one to be boring because it's slow, it's very spy centric, and I just don't agree with you. I don't. I think everything about it is top tier Marvel comic. If you were to take a Marvel comic and paste it onto a Marvel movie, this is what you would get. Right there. That movie right there. Some good stuff, for sure. No Way Home. That, when I went to go watch No Way Home, I cried maybe a good separate 3 times. When I started joining the MCU watch party pretty late, like after Infinity War is when I started watching and when I really got into it. So I never really got to experience Infinity War. So I can't really say that, oh, this was a much bigger experience than Infinity War. I can't really say that, but this was one of my best theater experiences because every single person, when Toby and Andrew popped out of those portals, they lost it. I lost it. The people I went to the theaters with, they lost it. Like, it was just an incredible experience, and it wasn't for nostalgia reasons. I mean, yeah, you wanted to put them in there to earn some money. I get it, but they made it make sense. It wasn't Andrew's movie. It wasn't Toby's movie. It was Tom's movie. It was our Peter Parker's movie. And they made that specifically clear. And that's why that movie is amazing. Amazing, for sure. Now, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. A lot of people hate this movie too. I think it's solid enough. B tier. Definitely B tier. The whole Inception type stuff that happens in the movie, I really like a lot. Same with Multiverse of Madness. I know Multiverse of Madness gets a lot of hate because it got overhyped because of who's going to be in it, and it didn't deliver. It kind of underachieved a little bit, which I can kind of agree with. There are some parts in the movie where I thought was like, oh, yikes. But there's a lot of good in this movie, and people need to realize that. So both Doctor Stranges going B. The TV shows. Falcon and Winter Soldier, B. The villains were kind of weak, but I liked the TV show based on the fact that it built Sam as the new Captain America, and I like Sam as the new Captain America. I think he fits that role perfectly. Moon Knight, I love Moon Knight. I know a lot of people don't, but I really love Moon Knight. I think, if I remember correctly, I had all the shows on A tier, but Moon Knight sticks out to me specifically in a way. Oscar Isaac did a great job. Ethan Hawke did a great job. The CGI was wonky at parts, but all in all, I liked the premise behind it, and I hope we get more out of Moon Knight. I hope he's just shoved into the fold. She-Hulk, I did watch this show. I only watched it for Daredevil, because I love Daredevil. C tier. It didn't strike with me. The only episode I liked was the Daredevil episode. And that's why I'm not giving it an F. And I understand that that's what She-Hulk is. That's how she operates. She breaks the fourth wall. She did it before Deadpool. She did all of this. I still don't like it. I don't. Thor: Love and Thunder, C. It's not F. I'll say that. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to Taika Waititi. I don't know. I feel like Marvel castrated him. Like, they just were like, no, bad boy. You were not gonna do what you did at Ragnarok. You're not gonna do it, bad boy. And they just ripped out his intestines and they made him sit down in a chair and do this and write down this piece of junk. Okay, the only reason why that this is not an F, okay, is because the Jane and Thor relationship was much better in this one. It was written better, thank God, because the other two didn't really do anything for me. So they were much better in this one, and the back half of this movie was great. And Gore the Gotch Butcher, Christian Bale stole the frickin' show. He was so good as Gore the God Butcher, and I'm sad we're not going to see more of him because I really liked him. But other than that, if none of that was there, it would be an F. Now, Hawkeye, B. And I think, no, I don't like it better than Falcon. Not at all. No, yeah, first Doctor Strange is better. But I think Hawkeye is still a solid entry. Middle of the pack, B. I like the introduction of Kate Bishop. I love Haley Steinfeld. I think she's great at this thing called acting, and she's got some assets too. But that's neither here or there. And also, we get to see Yelena. I love Florence Pugh. I think I just have an attraction to Marvel women. I think I do. Whoever's in a Marvel movie, I just have an attraction to. Because both Haley and Florence, I just love them dearly. I really do. but I think the whole passing of the torch to Kate is one of the main reasons why I like this. And we got to see Kingpin. He was kind of done dirty, but I'm not going to talk about that. Kazi, who I had no idea. I don't know if he's a major player in the comics. I really don't. I don't know. Um, I liked it. I did. Eternals. I think I liked it better than Marvel and Thor and Love and Thunder, but it's a C. I liked it better than She-Hulk though. Um, but I think Eternals is also overhated a little bit. Um, just because people think it's boring, and it is boring in some parts, but it's not boring all the way. I think there's some good moments. I think the all-star cast meshed well together. The on-site uh, cinematography, gorgeous. It was a gorgeous movie. Okay, let's not take that away from it. It was a really, really just. It was easy to look at. It was easy on the eyes, and I think that's why I don't have it at F. Black Widow, it's gonna be a B. And again, introduces Yelena. We get to see Natasha one last time. Um, David Harbour, Rachel Weisz. We get to see them, and we get to see the Red Room. And I love David Harbour because of my love for Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things dearly. One of my favorite TV shows of all time. But his Russian accent's terrible. Please never have him do another Russian accent. And if he does another Russian accent in Thunderbolts, I think I'm literally going to die. Well, he's probably going to because he's playing the character. Which means he's got to get better at it. Because, stupid Mishan, stop. Okay, just stop. Ugh. But yeah, I liked Black Widow. More than people actually liked Black Widow. I don't know. I just think because Yelena's in it. And also, it introduced Yelena, so I think that's one of the main reasons why. Because I love Yelena. I like Florence Pugh's depiction of her. And now Shang-Chi. Definitely top 5. Definitely top 5. I really like the fights. I think this movie has the best fight choreography of any Marvel movie. Without a doubt. And it was just it was emotional. I liked the cast. Everyone did such a good job. I like the callbacks to Abomination, to Wong. I like how they introduced Abomination back into the MCU through Wong, who then later shows up in She-Hulk. That's also another thing I like about She-Hulk, by the way. I like Tony Leung. He was a good villain, or good half hero, half villain in this. The callback Ben Kingsley, Travis Slattery. I liked how they gave a callback to him. Everything about this movie, I liked. I can't give you one single complaint about the movie. I can't. If I were to give one complaint, it would be the little when they're in Razor Fist's car and they're escaping the compound, the little CGI that happened there. I think that's a little bit weird. But other than that, that movie is god tier. I love Shang-Chi. Iron Man 3, I think it's better than Iron Man 2. But it's probably better than Hawkeye. But I don't think it's better than Falcon or Black Widow. And that might be controversial, but I just don't think it's better. But I think it's definitely better than Iron Man 2. Definitely better. Tons. Homecoming. I love Homecoming. I think it's a good, solid entry and a reimagination of Spider-Man, who we see in Civil War, which is a movie we'll get into later down the line. And I really like Michael Keaton as Vulture, and we're not going to talk about Michael Keaton's cameo in Morbius. We're not going to talk about those terrible ass end movie credits. We're not going to talk about that at all. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. Thor Ragnarok, definitely an A. It's probably going to be above Avengers and below Winter Soldier. This revitalized Thor for me, because if this Thor movie sucked, Thor, I don't think I would have liked Thor as I did in Infinity War, because the past two Thor movies were so underwhelming. And I think this was just a nice revitalization of Thor. It brought him back to where he needs to be. And then Thor Love and Thunder fucked it. Thor Love and Thunder was just like, ha ha ha. Right? Taika Waititi's like, how can I fuck this up? Oh, that's right. I'm gonna write about a bunch of goats screaming, and they're gonna keep screaming throughout the entire movie, and they're gonna wah. Jesus Christ. Infinity War top 5. I mean, come on. Do I need to explain why it's top 5? Do I really need to explain why it's top 5? Do I need to? Do I need to? No, I don't. Endgame top 5. Do I need to explain? No, I don't. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp was a good movie just based off the fact that we just got off Infinity War and people were scarred for life and still crying from that day in the theater. I think it's solid. No, it's not A tier. Sorry. It's definitely not A tier. I think it's solid. I think it's low B tier. It's not close to C though, for it being low tier B. But it's definitely not one of the best. Definitely not one of the best for sure. Far From Home. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about this one too. It's also a B, but I don't know if I like it better than Homecoming. I don't know, but I do like it better than Doctor Strange. I think this was Tom Holland's coming out party, not like that. But I think it was nice for him. This movie really brought out how good he is as Spider-Man, because I think Tom Holland's a fantastic Spider-Man. I think he really fits the role nicely, especially if Homecoming didn't convince you enough. This movie did. This movie definitely did. And I liked Mysterio as a villain, although some people have different opinions of Jake Gyllenhaal based off some stuff that's been coming out in the past couple years. I get it. But that doesn't deny that he's still a good actor. And I think he does a good job in Mysterio. And for someone who's never read the comics and didn't know anything about Mysterio, the twists got me. It got me. So, solid movie. The First Avenger. I think that's going to be low B tier. Solid introduction to Captain America. But I feel like sometimes the storyline got a little muddled or muddied. And it kind of didn't know what it wanted to do. But all in all, good entry. What If, also a B. I only watched the first 4 episodes, but I think that's enough to say whether it's good or not. And I think it's fun. If you just want to watch something just to watch it and just kind of kick back and watch, how many times am I going to watch it challenge? Then yeah, go ahead for it. But it's not like something to be, oh, wow, right? Loki, top tier. I love Loki. I think it's up there. I think it's up there. Just solid show. And I wish we got more episodes out of it. And thank God we're getting a season 2. But it helped build Kang up. And we've seen the Ant-Man trailers. And Ant-Man's only coming up in about 2 weeks, which is crazy to me. And I like the cast. Tom Hiddleston back as Loki. Great stuff. Sylvie, the other Loki. I like Sylvie a lot. Although she really fucked up the timeline. I don't know why she decided to kill Kang and didn't, or whatever Kang's name was in the show. I forgot what his name was. She just was like, hey, just killed him. And then wow, Owen Wilson himself. Yeah, just a fantastic show. I loved it a lot. Hulk. I'm not really going to talk about this, but I think it's better than Thor. Because honestly, I don't really remember much from that movie, but I know it's better than Thor. Yeah. Civil War. A lot of people don't like Civil War. I'll tell them to eat my nuts. I think it's better than Avengers, but I don't think it's better than Loki. There, I said it. Guardians of the Galaxy top 5. So eventually we'll get to reordering the top 5 from 1 through 5, but that's my top 5 definitely. Guardians of the Galaxy. How can you turn a unknown ragtag team of misfits into one of the most beloved groups in the MCU? You turn to James Gunn, who is now the leader of DC Studios, which is sad. We're losing James Gunn, but I think he'll revitalize DC Studios because DC Studios needed some help. Definitely needed some help. But James Gunn did a great job. Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Bradley Cooper, and then Dave Bautista. Huge wrestling fan, so when I saw him as Drax the Destroyer, I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely watching this. And he's a good Drax. He does fantastic as Drax. And I think Batista is one of the better wrestling actors out there. Just saying. Age of Ultron. Now this one gets hated on too. I think it's better than Iron Man 3. But I don't think it's better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's still a solid movie. Introduces Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, who dies. Like, what the hell? And then Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlet Witch. Again, I'll preference this. I think I have a thing for Marvel women. Moving on from that, I think Ultron. I liked Ultron, for what it was, and I know some people who were a big reader into the comics. They say that Ultron is not supposed to be all jokey. He's supposed to be serious. He's supposed to be homicidal. And I think he was homicidal, but he was like pulling off a lot of jokes, and I get that. It's a villain. He's not a stand-up comedian. He's not supposed to be telling jokes. And I can see why people wouldn't like that or dislike it. Ant-Man. I think it's A-tier. I like Ant-Man a lot, but I don't think it's above any of these. It's definitely low tier A, but I like it a lot. It surprised the heck out of me, because how the hell are you gonna care for Ant-Man? I know I didn't care for Ant-Man, but I know that second Ant-Man trailer, the first Ant-Man trailer, people were like, "What the hell is this shit? This looks boring." And then the second one came out, and then it was like, "Oh wow, this actually looks good." And it did look good, and it came out good. I think it surprised the hell out of a lot of people. Same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. Those two, you turn two lesser known heroes, or Guardians of the Galaxy weren't really heroes. They were more thieves and murderers and killers and whatever. But you turn those two Marvel projects into something that blew up and actually a lot of people liked. You gotta give MCU their props. You gotta give them their kudos, because they did a good job with that. Iron Man, the first Iron Man. Real nice. It's really good. I like Iron Man 1. I really do. And it's just a solid Phase 1 movie. And more than solid, it's actually a fantastic solid. What the hell? A fantastic Phase 1 movie. It's not better than Black Panther or Avengers, but I think it's better than Moon Knight and Ant-Man. Just some really good stuff in that movie. You get to see the whole Tony Stark in the desert working for the 10 rings, or a misappropriation of the 10 rings, and just the whole story. Great stuff. And Obadiah Stane, the best villain out of the 3 Iron Man movies, but that's not really saying much. I think Jeff Bridges did a good job as Obadiah Stane. But the nitpick I really have is the end fight. I think they could have done better with the end fight. I'm not saying it was bad, but it wasn't a whole lot great. One division, one division, one division, one division, one division, one division. Good stuff. Loki and WandaVision are just top tier television, in my opinion. I think they were the first 2 Marvel TV shows that came out, and they hit a home run. They really did, and then just went downhill with their TV shows, especially She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel. And I with Ms. Marvel, I saw 1 episode, and I get it with the Ms. Marvel show. It was really colorful, it was different, and I can see why it would be more appropriate for kids. It just wasn't my style. And I never really got to the second episode because I heard it was kind of bad. So it pushed me away. Now, before we go into the Punisher and Daredevil TV shows, we're going to finish off with Wakanda Forever. I think Wakanda Forever is on pace with Black Panther. I'm not gonna. You can flip either way, but I don't think you can. I think they're both even. I think they're exactly the same. With this movie, there was a lot of doubt because Chad had passed away, and people were saying to themselves, "How are you going to replace such such an actor as Chad, someone who held down that role and who did a great job as Black Panther?" I think they did it justice. I think they did him justice, and it was emotional. It was powerful. Angela Bassett stole the freaking show. She did freaking amazing. And then Letitia Wright did great. The whole cast, I feel like they knew what they had to do, and they nailed it to a T. And Ryan Coogler did a good job on getting them together and saying, hey, this is what we have to do. We have to do this for Chad. And they did it for Chad. And they should be really proud of themselves. And the whole world building of Atlantis. And I liked Namor as the anti-hero. And I understood where he was coming from. And that makes a sympathetic villain. A sympathetic villain. And I think they did a great job with that. Now down to the last two. Punisher and Daredevil. No. I think Punisher is low tier A. The first season, some great, grimy, gory stuff. And then the second season happened, and I'm like, what the shit? What did you do to Punisher? Wasn't that bad. But then again, how could you not make another season that was on par with the first? The first one was just fantastic television. I don't get it. The second. I'm not saying the second season was bad. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm like, what the hell? Like, there was a lot of bad moments in season 2. Like, the Amy character, I didn't really understand why they added the Amy character. Maybe it was just like some redemption arc for John Bernthal's Punisher. I have no idea. Speaking of John Bernthal is the Punisher. He should stay the Punisher forever. And then finally, Daredevil. I mean, come on now. Daredevil, I think, is up there with WandaVision and Loki. Like, honestly, any one of these three you could switch out. You could put Loki first, WandaVision second, Daredevil third, or you could put Daredevil first and then Loki and WandaVision. WandaVision first, then Loki, then Daredevil. You could switch either one of those three. You can. That's top tier A television, all right there. All three of these, top tier. And to finish off this Marvel ranking, we gotta adjust the top 5. Now, I think Infinity War No Way Home is number 1. Then Infinity War. Then Shang-Chi. Then Guardians, then Endgame. That's my top 5. Endgame wasn't as powerful as Infinity War, but Endgame was 10 years. 10 years of wait. 10 years of building a universe to all come to a head right there. That's why I have it as top 5, because it made me cry at least 2 times. And Marvel movies don't do that to me anymore. It doesn't. And then Guardians, Shang-Chi, Infinity War. No Way Home was just the point of Mount Everest. Such good shit. So yeah, that right there is my Marvel ranking. Now, it looks completely different from the other Marvel ranking I did. And that's to be expected because, again, I ponder on some shows. I start to think about it. And I'm like, you know what? My thoughts change differently. And I think I'm much more comfortable with this list than I was before. Hopefully I can get some more videos up on the channel. Hopefully I can start doing some movie, TV show reviews. I really don't have a lot of time, especially this being my last semester of college. So I'm going to try. But for now, I'm just going to give you guys this. And hopefully you agree with some stuff, and hopefully we have some discussions and say, oh, I disagree with you and here's why. Or like, oh, maybe you should change this and here's why. And I'll say, okay, I get it. But if you're rude, I won't say nothing to you. I won't say nothing. But anyway, that's the end of today's video. If you liked my Marvel ranking, please like, subscribe, all that stuff. And yeah, it's good to see you guys again. This is Tinksy, and I'm out. Peace.